Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Build the Back to the Future DeLorean. This is issue number 90, and today we are going to be installing the engine bay cover that we started the hinges on last time. So we've got a few pieces to hold this to the car, and then these pipe pieces you might see in there, those are, we're going to put them together, but they're going to be off the side afterwards, so yeah, you know, we'll see where that goes. So the first couple things we got to do, obviously we have to open this up. Let me start there. Okay, so the very first thing is we're going to be attaching a spring mechanism, a latch mechanism, to the trunk lid. So I gotta get those pieces out and hopefully not lose the spring. Very tiny little spring in here. I'll hold it up in front of the camera, but you probably won't see it. It's right there in my hand. And it's going to go on this also very tiny pin piece, which if I drop it, I'll never find. And that's going to be held together with this slightly less tiny T-piece and a couple of OM screws. So I'm going to get all these pieces ready in advance. And I'm also going to get my 3-in-1 oil out because there are some metal pieces. These are QM, not OM. I don't know why I said OM. Because the text in the book makes it look like an O, but it's still a Q. The tiny little pin piece has a shelf in it. Probably hard to see, but the spring goes over the lower section, and then the whole thing goes into a slot on the back, and this is going to provide a spring force to close the latch. And I'm going to use a couple of the pieces they gave me to sort of prop this up, because I'm pretty sure if that touches the bottom, that little pin will push through and the spring will come apart and go flying, and I'll never see it again. That was, went together fine, but made me very nervous doing it, just because I don't want to lose another spring. So that's the underside, the two screws holding that T-piece in. And like I say, on the top, this is why I didn't want to touch this pin. Becomes your latch mechanism. And it moves, and that pushes this little latch here out of the way. It's very windy out right now if you're hearing a lot of background noise. So that was the part of this that I was somewhat concerned about, and that is now together fine. And while the movement on this is not perfect, I think it will do its job sufficiently. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sort of assemble the mechanism that in a normal engine cover, hood, whatever you want to call it, bonnet, would hold the engine compartment open. So we got three pieces. We have this kind of D-ring, extended D-ring. We have what will become a hinge with that. And we have the actual locking mechanism. And the locking mechanism has a long slide, which is where the piece is when it's not latched. And it has that little notch up, which is where the hook goes into when it is latched. So first thing we got to do is sort of fit this through and around. And of course, right away I fit it backwards. Let me try that again. And it needs to go in a specific orientation because of the bend in this. So it should be, when it's in the notch, that should go up. So that it will all hold together. And then they say, well, okay, hold the ends together with the with the hinge cover, but since they're not actually telling you to screw that into anything, it doesn't really make a difference how you put that for the moment. So what we really need to do is bring the car in. Because all of this is actually going to go right on these two holes right here. I can get these wires out of the way. So this is going to take a couple of AP screws. And 2 more hands than I have. Okay, so while I thought the spring part was going to be the hard part, apparently that was the hard part. Yeah, no problem. So that's in now. This will, like I say, become the latch that holds this all together. Holds the props that open. You'll see. You'll see in a minute. If you don't understand what I mean. So now we're going to bring in the actual cover, and we're going to attach the hinges. With 4 more OM screws and the smaller screwdriver bit. QM, I keep saying OM, QM screws. Okay, so now we have an engine bay cover, which is pretty cool. And like I say, this latch, at least in principle, will let you open it. Of course, there's not a lot to grab onto right now. But right now, unless you prop it all the way up, it doesn't support anything. So what you do, they show you flipping the car over. I think I'm not going to. I think I'm just going to do it this way. This piece, assuming I've done this right, might be a big assumption. Might be why they have you flip it over, because you can't do it while it's propped all the way open. Never mind. It needs to be at like a 45-degree angle. So we're going to close it. We're going to flip her over. We're going to do it the way the book says to do it. Okay. Got my little bit of foam here. Okay, well, so you're not going to be able to see this that well. Because I can't see it that well and it's right in front of me. But there's a pin and a little lip and everything that holds this all in the right position. And another QM screw. Okay, let's try that again. With that piece installed, let me pop this open. And needs to get squeezed a bit. So let me see if I can fix this shape. Because it's a split ring, the pieces have kind of bent apart from each other, which doesn't do what it should. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go at this with a pair of pliers. But anyway, it's a latch. It does work. It's just that any amount of pressure... See, you can see it holding it open right there, right? But if you pull up too hard, it tries to split the ring open. So that's unfortunate. Like I say, I'll go with that with a pair of pliers and see if I can't reshape it a little bit. But we'll do that at a later stage. So now we're going to put the car back out of the way to finish up the last of this. Okay, so we have 3 pieces, some AP screws, and a screwdriver. The first thing is we're going to take these 2 white pieces, and we're just going to put them together. And we are going to secure these 2 together with an AP screw. Okay, we get that larger white piece. You see the screw head in the tab right there. And then this silver piece is going to join with it. I don't know if there's a specific angle, they don't really show. But it goes in that orientation, so that this part with the pin on it is going this way. And that is also held on with an AP screw. And if the orientation makes much difference, I'm sure it will matter. We can loosen that up later. Right now it's on, and it won't really move. But once I know how that's supposed to go, we'll tighten it up. Well, I'm going to loosen it now, just so I don't forget. There we go. So that is stage 90. Stage 91 presumably will be putting some more stuff on the cover there. I don't think we're at a stage of putting the cover on the car, putting the rest of the body on the car, but we're getting close. There's just really just the outfitting on the outside of this left to go. So if you want to see what is coming up in issue 91, click on that cat to subscribe. You can check out those playlists for any episodes you might have missed. Have a good one, guys.